It's kind of a 10 millimeter sort of day, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Oh yeah. Oh, he's leaking. He's leaking. Oh yeah, they start leaking when you hit them with a 10 millimeter P320 X10. I do like the 10, and I've liked it a long time. I've had the Glock 20 and Glock 29 for what, a couple of decades. I don't know, it's been a good while. And recently added the M&P, which I kind of like. Got new sights on it, like it better now. And you know, I like the P320. It's a favorite of mine. In fact, the M17 is a key component of my home security. And this is kind of a blown up P320 in a lot of ways. Well, it is a P320. This slide's a little bit heavier, which is probably a good thing. And 10 millimeter, if you're going to add a little weight to it, yeah, that's the time to do it, right? But you got the same grip module, the X-frame, been tweaked a little bit. I got the flat trigger. You got the same size grip, as I understand. I haven't held them a lot side by side, but well, my M17 is not really the X-frame, is it? But as far as the circumference and the grip and the feel, you don't like with the Glock 20 jump up, you know, from a Glock 17 to a Glock 20 bigger grip, right? You don't really have that experience with the Sig, so that's pretty smart. Weight-wise, the Sig X10 is about 33 ounces, and it's a couple ounces heavier. Let's see, let me remember the order here. I think the Glock is the next in line. It is about there's 2 ounces difference, I think. So he's like 31, and the M&P is 29 or so. So you get 2 ounces more as you move up from the M&P to the Glock, 2 more ounces. And then when you move up to this, you get 2 more. So that would probably mean the Sig is 4 ounces heavier than the M&P. So there's a weight difference, okay? And this thing does feel really barrel heavy. You know, it's front end heavy. Very, very noticeable to me. So let's just shoot them off, see how they feel, and kind of just the shootability and recoil and all that kind of thing. Gone. Yeah, okay, it's still hot. I'm gonna lay it down though. Shoot this while it's fresh on my mind. That was a Glock. Here's the M&P. Through the smoke, let me find the... Let me empty the Sig. I didn't empty it, did I? Yeah, almost had it empty. Okay. Well, yeah, I could feel a difference with the weight. Hadn't done that yet. Yeah, I would really say it's almost the amount of jumpiness pretty much is in direct relationship to the weight. There's a correlation there. I think the Glock is a little more jumpy than the Sig, and then this is a little jumpier than any of them, but none of them is a problem, okay? If Mr. Grizz was after you or whatever, that kind of thing. So, but they're all good shooters, okay? And again, that was just range ammo, but still was apples to apples, same ammo in all three. So you get more weight, that's one of the differences, and you get a barrel heavy. That's one of the negatives to the gun. It feels a little bit like you ever picked up a Desert Eagle? You know, they got that big muzzle, heavy end and everything, and of course if it's whatever the caliber is, it's welcome sometimes because it's a heavy kicker, right? And same with 10 millimeter. The weight is both a blessing and a curse. You know, it feels barrel heavy and it doesn't seem to balance well in your hand, but you can't help but be thinking at the same time, it might be a good thing because, you know, I got some hot 10 millimeter I'm going to be shooting through it, like right here. Let's put some of this in. Trophy bonded ammo, which is a hard kicker, and it feels a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, when you got something to absorb that recoil. Wow. Woo! Let's go ahead and pop a watermelon with you. What to? Oh yeah, nice. Pop the gong with this stuff. Boom. I think yeah, it shoots a little low for me if I'm not careful. Bring it up. There we go. Yeah, got to bring it up. It prints a little bit lower than maybe I like, but not significant. Okay. So when you're shooting some heavy ammo, some pretty warm ammo, you know, again, the weight is a good thing, and being barrel heavy, nose heavy is a good thing. All right. But just to pick it up, if you thought, okay, you want to learn to shoot. You want a good gun, feels good to you, bounces in your hand, and you know, you draw, feels good, and you're just moving around. Well, when you pick up this one, you're not going to have that feeling, that warm and fuzzy feeling about the balance of it. It's like, well, okay, someone put some lead sinkers in the front of the slide. That's kind of the way it feels to me. All right. That's not dramatic. It's because I handle so many firearms, and it feels nothing like these. These don't feel that way at all. So if that bothers you, then you might be bothered. This one being the lightest, and it's actually even contoured down, you know, the M&P, so it really feels good and very well balanced. You know, I put some, those are Dawson Precision sights I put on there. I got those tall sights off there because it was shooting low, because I'm not going to put an optic on it, and so I didn't need those. So I had those you know, replaced, and I like it much better now, much better. Dawson Precision, okay. And then the Glock, you know, it doesn't even have special sights, but you know, Glock 20, everybody knows Glock 20, right? Okay. So anyway, back to this gun. So you got the flat trigger, and it's a nice trigger, you know, I guess the X trigger, and that's where it excels. Better trigger than either of those jalopies over there, right? Very, very nice trigger. You feel like you could just pop it and hit almost anything, like with an X5. And I think it has kind of the same frame rate as an X5. We've done that, but I'm not as familiar. I don't own one. The slide is where the bigger difference is, as I understand. The slide is a little thicker, okay, and that's where you get your weight. Plus, it's a full 5 inches. And so, you know, intentionally, they wanted to add a little weight to that. As I understand, it won't necessarily fit in a lot of holsters. If you have an X5, you know, or just a P320, it's probably not going to fit in any holster without a little forcing it in or modification, that kind of thing. A leather holster might, because it's just a little bit wider, not a lot. And that's what gives you that more of the nose heavy feeling of it, I guess. And it's a 10 millimeter.